I wish somebody would have came and told me when I was 18 to start thinking like this. I've just always kind of thought ahead. Like I'm still stuck in the day-to-day of, here's your task, you got to get these done. But every once in a while, I think it's important to look ahead and be like, okay, what do I want when I turn 50 years old? What do I want my life to look like? And then you just kind of back into that. What do I need to do to accomplish that?
Yeah. Welcome to the FocalFlip Podcast. Every week we take a deep dive into the mystery and stigma behind mental health and explore real-life stories of struggle and triumph. We aim to educate and encourage others as we bring together a diverse group of guests. From the streets to sanctuaries, classrooms to boardrooms, mental health does not discriminate, and neither do we. Prepare to laugh, prepare to cry, prepare to be changed. Let's get into it. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the FocalFlip Podcast. It's your boy Mike, and I've got a college friend here with me today with a really, really cool story and a very, very cool product to tell you guys about. This is my boy Andrew Curtis. Andrew, how are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks, Mike, for having me.
Hey, no problem, dude. No problem. We've been trying to make this happen for a while, y'all.
We have. Well, we're busy. We got kids. We got, things going on.
Yeah, dude, we have. And you've been patient. I appreciate that very, very much. I really do. So I'll get into it. Here's the backstory, okay? Andrew and I, college buddies, all right? But we were rivals to start.
We were
rivals to start. So he was in one fraternity. I was in another fraternity, actually. And
I was almost in your fraternity, by the way.
I didn't know that.
I was almost in it. It came down to the one I joined and yours. And the last person to talk to me, I ended up going there. And the rest is history.
Who was the last person to talk to you?
Jared Moore.
God, Jared. Would be Jared.
Yeah. I can't even remember who everybody else was. But
Jared came in and closed the deal with Andrew Curtis.
And then I was the rush chair, and me and Chandler would go at it. It was.
I was rush chair right before Chandler.
It was. The people that know me, I'm a pretty competitive person, and I used to wear aviators all the time, and I don't know what happened, but they would make fun of me about that. So then I don't know if you remember this or not, but when I was rush chair, our pledge class, I bought aviators for every single person.
That's the best thing in the world.
To run out on bid day, all wearing aviators, so petty, but. Back in college.
I didn't know. Okay, can you throw to all right, Alpha Tau Omega, listen up. I need a photo of that.
I can find it.
Because that is epic, bro.
I don't know if they even do that stuff anymore. I think it's changed a lot.
I don't know. I haven't been as involved, man. Yeah. I've been so involved with business and kids and family. Yeah.
I had some high school friends that were like, I can't believe you're going to join a fraternity. You're paying for your friends, but I tell everybody, I paid for the experience. I learned so much in 4 years outside of being in school, just on how the world works. Who you know is important, almost more important than what you know. And that's what taught me that.
Yeah.
And I look back on those 4 years, and I tell everybody that my biggest regret is I only was in 4 years. I took a lot of classes and tried to get out early, and then I immediately regretted that when all my buddies were still in college. Taking the 5th year victory lap, and I'm sitting at work, getting texts from them. Hey, we're done with the
being the old man.
Yeah, I'm the old guy.
The old man. I got lunch break.
I got my packed lunch, and
I'm lunch break.
Just sitting here pulling up Excel, looking to see what I'm going to do this afternoon.
That's awesome, dude. It was funny because I'm also a competitor, athlete. I joined our fraternity. And it's so funny because it was almost like being local schools battling against each other while everybody's improving their own individual life. But it was fun. The competition actually was really fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
It was healthy. It was healthy competition. There is a level of, regardless of what people said at the time, there's a level of respect between both of the organizations. And I was thinking this as I was coming here.
We were
today.
all friends outside of it.
Yeah, it was. It's almost 20 years ago since I graduated college, and that alone is scary. 20 years ago I was a freshman in college.
That's crazy to think about.
2006. I came from Elder High School, all boys school. I was on, 4 years football, baseball, and I just loved that camaraderie with the guys. And that's kind of when I got to NKU. I didn't know anybody. I was an art major, which is kind of a weird flex, but I immediately fell in love with just that aspect of like boys being boys, like hanging out with your guys. And, the rest is history.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. I know I hung out with you guys quite a bit outside of there. There were some other teaks, too. I mean, it's so funny, actually. Brian Romer texted me right before you got here.
I just saw him at the Golf Expo.
Did you? Yeah. Romer texted me. So it's so funny as we're getting older and being in this community and just all the connections we have from Northern.
Right. Yeah.
It's just it's cool. And we're all we had a conversation prior to this, you all, and we're looking at possibly doing some things together with what he's going to teach you about here soon because we love what he's done. But it's just fascinating to see all of these kind of things happen as we're, like you said, right. 20 years post-grad.
Yeah. And it's amazing what you thought was important wasn't really important. Like, and I kind of take some of this stuff that I've learned and I try to apply it to my kids and the teams I coach.
Yeah.
But it's like, you could have thought when I was a sophomore, like we needed to win the intramural dodgeball or whatever the sport it was. And it's like 20 years, like none of that matters. Like, and I tell my son, like, when you're in 5th, 6th grade, nobody's going to care what 7th grade basketball championship you won. Like, they're only going to care if you were a nice person and how you treated people. And it's like, now as I'm getting older, and I hate saying, as I get older, looking back, it's like none of that like stuff mattered. It was all about like the relationships you build, your friendships, and ultimately the experience, because that's what you take with you.
Yeah, man, it was the best. It was the best. We tell stories all the time from college. That it's because of the experience.
Yeah,
and that's what we're all looking for in life. We're all looking to have a good experience,
right?
In anything that we do. That's the whole point.
You only get one trip around the world, so you might as well make the most of it.
That's it. All right, so art major. You said a weird flex. That's funny, man. Because I'm a creative now, and like I said, I've always been super creative.
Yeah,
I just covered mine up. I just never really got to let that out or blossom that because I always felt like I had to be one specific way. So tell me about, what year did you graduate?
I graduated Elder 05, NKU 2009.
Okay.
So it
Elder
was
05, NKU 2009.
When I was in high school, actually was a kid growing up. I always liked drawing. I mean, somebody told me this one day, like, everybody's an artist when they're a little kid, and then eventually somebody tells you that doesn't look very good. And then people stop being an artist. And it's like, I feel like that's pretty true. Like everybody doodles when they're a little kid, and I just was always really fond of it, and I was lucky that I was kind of good at it. And then when I was in high school, I started realizing, start thinking ahead, like what's my future look like? What's the next 10, 20 years look like? And I'm like, I liked art, but I wasn't really so focused on painting pictures and kind of being a starving artist. I really liked using my creative skills to help business. I was very into like business side of things. And I'm not really sure where that came from, but I've always wanted to kind of do my own thing and create my creative talents, I guess you would say, is what was my tools I used to help with that. So everything I've done basically since I've graduated high school to now is just using my creative talents with kind of some drive and ambition and a little bit of luck. And, we're just beating the path and trying to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, that inner dog, that inner athlete comes out of you when you want to take your artistic side and your creativity and manifest it into something that is real. So
right.
Like for you being able to take the balance of that both and then use that towards that, I could totally see that. That would drive me, honestly, in that space to kind of see what you can create from that.
Yeah, so when my first job out of college was at a company that would design vehicle wraps for metro buses, vehicle wraps for cars. It was such a cool place, and I don't know why I thought this way, but after about 2 or 3 years of doing that, I realized like, hey, these sales guys are selling my art. Like without what I can do, they sell blank pieces of paper, and it's like
start seeing your value a little more, huh?
Yeah, I'm like seeing the value. When you get out of college, you're just like, I'm just happy to have a job doing what I do. It doesn't happen for everybody. Some people might be, not do what they went to school for.
Ain't
but
that the truth?
After a couple of years, I'm getting calls from, salespeople on the golf course or wherever. Hey, can you update this thing and send it to this client? And like something just clicked to me. Like after a couple of years, where I'm like, they're making their life is so much like better in my eyes. They have so much more flexibility, and they're selling my like creativity. And it's like, I've always kind of had that mindset where it's like, I can do that. Like, why am
good for you.
Why am I letting somebody else build their dream? You know, why do they get to have that life and I'm sitting behind a desk till 5 o'clock? Like that's kind of always been my drive that I've accidentally learned. Where it's like, instead of building somebody else's dream, I'm going to try to build my dream.
Wow. I love it, man. That's it's very similar to my story, buddy. I mean, I was the same way. Yeah. And that's kind of the reason why I'm sitting here right now. It was like, I wanted to follow my dream. I wanted to step out in my path and carve my way with what I've learned and what I know, because I've learned this even up to just as recently as this year, is like, I'm actually starting to learn what my value is. Yeah. And that's, it's a sobering, refreshing thing to do, but then now to put action to it, it's like, it's just really cool.
It's scary. It's, both my parents worked my dad still works at a hospital. He's worked there for 40 years,
That's awesome.
And it's, I think I just have a different way of thinking of things, instead of grinding it out and working for somebody for 20, 30 years. And, the corporate world, while some people might like that just didn't fit for me. And
it's just not for everybody.
Yeah, but I wanted to make my own path. Like my second job was in digital marketing, and I liked that a lot. I learned a lot about that, but it was very corporate. And it was like, if you do a great job, you'll get a 3.5% raise at the end of the year. And if you really kill it, you'll get a 5% raise. Mm-hmm. So then I'm sitting there, and at the time I had my oldest was maybe 2 years old, maybe not. He might even been he was 1 year old, and my wife was pregnant. And I'm sitting there, and one day after I had a talk with my manager, I started saying, "This is my salary. All right, 3% is this in next year. 5 years, it's this. When I'm 40 years old, this is what I'm making." And it was just like an aha moment where it was like, I can't do this. Like, my wife is pregnant with our second kid. I have a 1 year old, and it's like, this isn't the life I want. I want to coach my kids at a 4 o'clock practice or a 5 o'clock practice. What really set the bar was my wife was, I think, 26 weeks pregnant or something like that. Mm-hmm. And we had like a schedule to get an ultrasound to see what the sex of the baby was. And they put the thing on her stomach and they immediately take it off. And so then you're immediately like, oh my God, what happened? Like, something's got to be wrong. And the technician was like, "Hey, have you had an ultrasound before?" And we're like, "No." And so then she puts it back on. She's like, "You're not having one baby, you're having 2 babies." And so that was like, oh my gosh, like, we just went from 1 kid to 3 kids in 30 minutes at the doctor's office. And that was at the same time where I was starting to try to figure out.
You have twins?
We have twins. My oldest is now in 5th grade. I have boy and girl twins in 3rd grade. And it was just kind of like a come to Jesus moment where I was like, I got to start making some different changes. I can't be behind a desk. I have some flexibility. Yeah. And ever since then, like, flexibility has been my number one thing. And I've been blessed to kind of go out and do my own things and kind of make my own schedules because you can get sappy and listen to all this stuff. It's like these years you only got so many of these years when they're real little, and it's like, I don't want to miss out on it.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Yeah, I totally get it. Wow, that's wild. I did not know you had twins.
Yeah,
twins in the 3rd grade, right? And your oldest is your daughter.
No, my oldest is my son. He's in 5th grade, and then I have boy and girl. So what was nice was
you have a boy and girl in 3rd grade.
Yeah, so they
twins.
They said we were having twins, and then they're like, "You want to know what the sex is?" And so she put on the thing, and the first one was a boy, and in my mind, I'm like looking at my wife, and they're like going over the second one, and I'm like, "Please let it be a girl." Like, twins are. It's not that it's rough. It's like it's just a lot more than what we were expecting, and I'm like, at least get her a girl because. I know how much she really wanted a girl, and luckily it turned out to be a girl. And I'm not gonna lie, that first year was rough. That was anybody that is a parent of multiples. I had tip of the cap because that was a very hard year. And what's crazy about that is our twins were born, and my mom was sick, and my mom actually passed away like a month after they were born. So there was a whole lot of things going on in like 1 year. 2017 was a rough year, but we got through it, and it was rough.
Man, 2016 was my rough year.
Yeah,
my dad passed in 2016.
Well, it was just, I mean, a lot going on. My brother was like, hey, I need you to come over here. And I was like, dude, I got 1-month-old twins. Like, I'll be there in like an hour. And he was like, no, I think you need to come like right now. And I ended up missing the moment of that, but it was just a lot, like a whole lot. But I learned a lot.
So 2017 was a tough year. Right?
Yeah.
But we all have them, guys. I'm telling you, we all have them.
You get through it. You definitely get through it.
Yeah. It's tough when you're going through it, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough when you're going through it. It's nice that looking back on those things and being able to talk about it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I kind of did my own thing. So my background's in marketing, graphic design. And when I was working at these companies, they would kind of have side work. So I started doing some side work for things, and I was like, hey, I think I can make this happen. So that's why I left the agency world and kind of just did my own thing. That way I could have the flexibility to, run a kid to a doctor's appointment, or he's sick at school, somebody's got to come pick him up. And I did that for a while. I still do that to this day. And word of mouth, I've learned, like, if you're a good person and you do good work, business comes to you. And I tell everybody I meet, I'm not there to try to make like a quick dollar. I'd rather have 5 or 6 clients that are just repeat customers, that it's like we're partners. Like we work together now. I've had probably 4 or 5 clients that I've worked with for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, so you're like a digital marketing consultant.
Yeah, digital marketing. I like to tell people I'm their outsourced in-house creative department. So
outsourced in-house creative department. I love that. That's really cool.
Instead of paying a salary for somebody, funnel all your creative requests to me, and almost like a white label type of thing. So that worked out really well. That's COVID area the last couple of years, and then with the invention we talked about earlier of like AI. I'm just trying to learn and adapt around what that's going to mean for me, what's going to mean for anybody in any aspect of business or whatever you do. It's kind of learning like how do you because it's not going anywhere, and it's like how are you going to adapt around that to make it work for you?
Big time. And
that's kind of where it leads to me to like what we can talk about next is this kind of pivot from marketing and things and more of a service-based business. For the longest time, people like the computer jobs are going to go away. AI is going to, the robots are going to take your jobs. And I'm like, I was always inclined. I love golf. Back to like circling back to my my graphic design job where they were designing vehicle wraps and the people calling me from the golf course. And the one sales manager was like on his way out to a golf outing. I'm like, oh, another golf outing. And he was like, my life is a golf outing. And I'm like, just like that one line just stuck with me. I'm like, dude, you only got one life. Like, might as well try to find something that you enjoy, And so I'm not good enough to be a professional golfer or a caddy. I don't even want, I am not a great golfer. I enjoy golf, and, I can get, here's what I always say. When you're in a foursome at like a corporate outing, I just don't want to be the worst one. I don't need to be the best one. Just got to be passed by.
You don't want the toilet bowl.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to be the guy that gives you the read. Like, I want to be like a contributing member of the team.
I just want to have a couple good ones where it was like, hey, you had a good putt on 12. Like, yeah, it was my putt on 12 that got that.
Yeah. So let
me get one of those and I'm good for the round.
Yeah, it's like you just want to, get a couple shots. I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, Jim, you went in the woods again.
Dude.
So about a year or so, actually it was this past summer, not even a year ago, I was on TikTok and I saw this video of like a golf simulator that was at like a party or something. And I'm like, man, that's so cool. Like I had a golf simulator in my garage at the time. COVID, COVID was weird. You just like found stuff that you got really into.
COVID was weird.
And I put a golf simulator in my garage and like loved it and loved the game and loved the competitive side. I also loved that it was like mental, like it was you. Like you don't have teammates here. It's like it's all on you to make the shots, and I love that aspect of it. But I saw this video of this, and I'm like, this was really cool. Like it's unique. I have not seen anybody else do something like that, and that's kind of where the idea of Greenies Mobile Golf started. So that was probably in July, on vacation actually with my my in-laws, and I'm like, I sat there with I showed my wife Ashley. I'm like, this is something that I'm like kind of interested in. And I was like, what do you think about this? And she's like, oh, like at first she was like, I don't know about this. And I'm like, the next day or so, I'm sitting at the beach, my kids are all playing, and I'm like, just sitting there looking at the waves. And I'm like, man, like something for some reason, it's just sticking with my mind where I'm like,
don't quit.
I can feel like this is going to work. Like It's just something different, and it's something that I like, and it's just like all the world seemed to be aligning, and I'm like, I don't know. So then we went to dinner that night, and I'm like, Ashley, like, I really want to do this. Like, I think I can kill it. Like, I think this would be something that we can do. And this is how I passed it off to her. I'm like, we can start this as a family. Like, and I want to involve my kids in business.
Yep, I do as well.
And that's like the main
Huge
point of it. My oldest is in 5th grade. He's about to be 11. And then I have twins, and I want them to learn stuff that they're not going to learn in school, and mainly how they can make a living doing something they enjoy. Like they don't have to go and go to college for 4 years or 8 years, whatever it is. They can find an idea and like how they make something out of nothing. And so that's kind of been my angle. It's been a family business. We, like I said, we just started a few months ago, and we've kind of hit the ground running. But it's full transparency with the whole family. I pull my daughter and my son in. I'm like, look, we're selling our service at this cost. This is what it cost us. This is what our profit is. And like teaching them what this stuff is. Yeah. And I say, Cam, this is why we're doing this event, because we want to collect this information to get marketing and all that kind of.
Good for you.
Yeah. And it's
this is what I do with my kids, dude.
I'm like trying to get them to think differently, because whether they decide to take over what I do someday or they do their own thing, or maybe they don't at all, but at least I can go to bed at night thinking I tried my best to teach them everything I know. And it's like, I want them to do what they like to do, and I want them to not rely on, a boss giving you 3.5% raise at the end of the year.
Man, I'm right there with you. That's what I've been like with my kids that I've really enjoyed. Like Elena, she's leaned in on both FocalFlip and North Star. And that's what I wanted to do as well, is teach them like what is involved in all of this stuff once you're out of school. So you get that foundation of school. This is what this really genuinely looks like. Here's the how, here's the why, and for me, it was like, it's more of that legacy too. So at least I did, like you said, go to sleep at night. At least I did equip them.
Right.
So, and then when it's time for hand things off, that's up to them.
Yeah.
But at least we did our part as fathers and as entrepreneurs and business owners, right? Is to teach them the entire time, because otherwise they're just tag-alongs. Right. What's the point?
And I've also noticed, like, with this specific thing, that it's like I have so much. Not that I didn't have motivation and drive before when I was doing marketing and stuff, but it's like I feel like this is what I'm like passionate about. Like I think about it all the time. I work on it all the time. I could sit. I never really thought like. You hear the saying, if you like something, you'll never work a day in your life, or whatever it is. Yeah. And it's like, okay, whatever. But with this, it's like I just like constantly think about, okay, ways I can improve. And it's like, okay. And I tell my kids this in sports. Okay, my oldest especially, because I'm kind of hard on him because he's the oldest, and that's just what you do. And I'm like, hey, I don't care if you play sports. I don't. But whatever you're gonna find something to do. Like if it's music or debate club, or I don't know what it is, but whatever you decide to do, you're gonna have to. I want you to be all in on it. I want you to focus and drive. And it's like, I feel looking back at myself, I'm like, I gotta also, like toe the line. I gotta do it too. So it's like they see how passionate I am about this business and how much work. I pick them up from school and I pull on my phone. Guys, look what video I made today. Like it's constant.
We do the same stuff, bro. When I pick them up too, I swear.
My daughter rolls her eyes like, "Oh, Dad, another Greenies video." But it's like I want them to see like how passionate I am and like the work that it takes to make something out of nothing. Man. And I'm super thankful that they've been really excited about it. They're my models on my social media. If I need them to post something, I'm like, hey, Ella, will you go outside, wear this hat, and like smile? And I'm like, because she thinks she's TikTok famous now, But it's like it's something that I can just kind of leave my kids, whether they do anything with it or not. But it's like, hey, that was cool. Because now I don't think everybody thinks that way. I think maybe some people are like, and maybe they're grinding it out in the corporate world, and it's like I just got to get to the next pay bump or the next level or whatever. And it's like I've just thought differently. I've always thought like, hey, I only got 10 years of them being this little. I don't know if I'm sure you've seen this because this seems like something you would see, but the like TikTok video of like when your kids are little, you think you got them forever, but you really only got them for like, they say 18 summers, but realistically they're like 16 summers. And it's like those summers, it's like, my oldest is 10. Like, this is his 11th summer. Like, I got less summers left in him than I already had.
Wow,
so,
you really put that in perspective.
Yeah.
I never heard that one
Really?
before. That
It's
was
like,
good, yeah. I
and
never
then,
heard
like,
it in the terms of summers, and that really kind of hit me.
Yeah. It's like you got 18 summers, and you really, realistically, when they're 16, they're on their phone, and they're with their friends, and they're like, I can't believe I have to go to Hilton Head with my family. And that, I saw that during COVID, you know, everybody's on their phones scrolling, and like, I saw that, and I'm like, man, that is like eye-opening when you really realize, like, you only got 18 years. And this clip, I have to find this audio. This guy, he's like a motivational speaker, and he's just talking about, like, you think you have forever and you don't. And, you know, once those like real little years, like once they're gone, and they can't come back. And that's always been something in the back of my mind where it's like, you know, I can always go get a job down the road. If I needed to go back to the corporate world, I could, but I can't get when my kid's 9 years old and needs me to pick him up for school. Like, I can't get that back. So
no, you can't.
That's kind of my...
that's awesome, man. I respect that very much, just so you know. So, yeah, wow. A lot of great stuff to unpack there, man. It's so cool. Like, I mean, I couldn't be more excited and more happy for you. And I'll chime in here and let you all know kind of what we're talking about here. Actually, I'm going to do a hat swap. You ready for this?
Okay.
I had to do that.
You got the hat, the swag.
Let's go.
With some stickers.
Oh, got some stickers. Dude, I'm a big sticker guy.
If it's one thing I know, it's marketing and branding.
I'm a big sticker guy. This is awesome. Let's go. Oh, yes.
So the company that we started with my wife and my kids, it's called Greenies Mobile Golf. It's a mobile golf simulator. And for those that are not in the golf world, what a greenie is just a term for a closest to the pin on a par 3. So that's kind of where the name started and came from. And we've kind of gone from there with it. I was able to use my creative talents to design the logo, the website, all that kind of stuff.
How do I look?
I think it looks great, man.
Does it look good?
I think it looks like you're about to win the Masters.
I'm going to win the Masters. Yo, let's go. Let's go. Okay. Sorry, you're explaining Greenies, right?
Yeah.
Keep going.
So we are a mobile golf simulator on a trailer. So it is and it's more of a premium thing. So we try to work with corporate awesome. Clients, charity golf outings where we can actually pull our full golf simulator up there. The side comes down and they can play closest to the pins or full on rounds. And our angle is more of a way for, like, say, the charity to raise more money. So, you know, everybody's been to a golf outing. After the golf outing, there's kind of a reception dinner where they have like raffled prizes and stuff. And it's like, hey, we can be there. You know, you can use this as an additional way to make money where you can sell raffle tickets to win the closest to the pin competition while you're raising more money. You split the pot, however you want to do that. That's kind of been our angle where we will still do residential birthday parties and everything, but we basically bring the golf course to you. So wherever you're at.
That's the coolest thing in the world. I'm telling you guys, it was the neatest thing. When him and I were chatting, and he was building Greenies and getting ready to launch it, I was super fascinated by it. Like, I was just sitting here like, this is cool. Number one, we're friends. We know each other from school. But for my listeners and viewers who don't know, I'm a golfer. I think this may be the first episode that I've actually ever even said that. So I love golf.
Yeah.
All right. I learned how to play golf when I was younger and never really had actual lessons or anything like that. I had a cousin named Roger, shout out Roger Kirby, who taught me how to play golf. And he stood me in the back here, had a pitching wedge, and he would just take pitching wedges and hit the back barn with it all the time. So he ended up teaching me, and I ended up getting my first set of irons were a turbo power set of irons, which he and what everybody was telling me were Callaway replicas, you guys. So I would go around saying, well, they'd be like, what kind of clubs you got? I'm like, Callaways.
Yeah.
And then you see it say turbo power and have like the Callaway logo style thing. So I played, and I'm a competitor and athlete as well, so I'm naturally pretty decent at things when I try them or play them, and I got decent at it. I was the one on my golf team at Simon Kenton, and wasn't the greatest number one. I took a lot of L's,
yeah.
but I did medal as well. Then I kind of leave, get married, have kids. My children are 13 months apart, so it's similar to having twins. Not the same, but man, I understand having two that close together. So I didn't play golf a lot, and then business position changes, and I'm doing more sales stuff. Next thing I'm in golf outings and starting to play more often. Then I went through another phase where I didn't play at all.
Yeah.
My own insecurity, my struggle, the alcoholism that I went through, it was kind of like an isolated mode where I gained so much weight that I didn't even want to be seen in public, like as much as possible.
Yeah.
So let alone try to go and play golf and have a Craig Stadler ×2 swing, like I just didn't want to do that. So then when I started getting healthier and I realized, I'm not drinking and there's no substances or anything like that, it's more time to find hobbies and coping mechanisms, right? So then golf kind of started to creep back in.
Yeah.
But it was also expensive. So for me, I didn't want to spend the money. So I set a goal. I go, you know what? I've never had a brand new set of irons. I'm going to work really hard this year. I think my treat to myself this year is going to be, I'm going to get fitted for my first set of irons. So I did that a couple of years ago. And I was like, I'm going to take this seriously because I have found my serenity on the course.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Playing golf, like a lot of people, they'll say, oh God, it's just frustrating. I hate it. I don't care if I suck.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy being out there with friends, people, just by myself. I play by myself.
I was just about to say that. I think if you ever don't think you like golf 9 holes by yourself early in the morning, get a coffee and just enjoy it. It'll change your life because you're going to have some bad shots, but you're going to hit the one good shot that you're like, wow, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like I might want to do that again.
Yeah, man. I get the irons. Okay. So I get my irons and I'm like, I got a set of ping irons and I love my irons. I started dialing them in and I got a little bit of lessons and stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm really enjoying this. So I didn't play by myself that year, but then last year I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start sneaking out.
Yeah.
Cause I enjoy my me time. Like I from where I used to not be able to be alone with my thoughts, now I enjoy it, and that's kind of my time to really sharpen. So then last year I'm like, I'm going to go out and play a round of golf in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. I go out. We hadn't started our tea stuff yet, so I was still drinking a lot of coffee. And I just got out and played a round of golf. I think it was at Twin Oaks that morning. I went down and played a round of golf by myself at Twin Oaks. And when I was done, I just felt good. And then I ended up having a really crazy productive work day.
Yeah.
It was wild what all I accomplished afterwards. And I don't know why or what that was, but it changed my whole mood and mode that day.
Especially like kind of even circling back to just having the flexibility, but there is probably a handful of times my wife's probably going to listen to this and she's going to get mad at me, but like I'll drop my kids off and I'll be like, man, I can get 9 holes in an hour and a half. And, you sneak on there, you get 9 in and you're home by 10:30. And it's just such a great start to your day. Like what you were just saying, like it's so peaceful. Even if you play terrible, it's like, you still were on the golf course.
Exactly. And that's the thing, huge on flexibility, because I'll touch on that piece too. That's been a massive driver for me. You start to realize that flexibility is super important. And that's when I noticed, like, for me and my business and now a couple businesses, like I spend a lot of time in the business, right? And I enjoy it when I'm passionate about it. So it doesn't seem like work for me. Mm-hmm. And that's why, because I do so much of it and I only turn it up and down, I try to keep my kids involved with it too, because I try to find that total balance. But when it came to with golf and being out there by myself, that flexibility was ginormous. I struggled with guilt at first when I first started, like, should I be doing this?
Yeah.
Like, and then I'm going, hold up, dude. Like, I'm such a prioritized person and task driven, run off lists, that I grind and knock things out. And I can accomplish a lot of tasks in a very short period of time. And that's just been through years of experience and practice now.
I couldn't agree more, dude. Like the saying, work hard, play hard, like that is where it's at. Like when I'm ready to work, and being creative, sometimes I'm not creative at 9 o'clock in the morning. I might have an idea at 10 o'clock at night and I jump on my computer and get it done.
Start going at it.
I'm not the same as some other people where, they're working on that spreadsheets and stuff. Like creativity comes whenever it comes. And doing stuff like golf or taking walks or exercising, that all just sparks the amount of ideas I have on a treadmill is unbelievable.
Yeah,
like,
dude, same here for on a Stairmaster.
Yeah, like it's just constant. Like, and you never know when it's going to come. But I walk a lot. When I play by myself or I play in my golf league, I walk, and I've become such a better golfer just walking, because you kind of avoid when you're in the cart talking and you're kind of like, giving each other a hard time, and you listen to music, which is still fun, but it's like during my league, back to being super competitive, like I'm trying to shoot as low as I possibly can. Like
so you want to be locked in.
Yeah, like that 1 9-hole round a week, that's my, like, I'm trying to better my scores every week.
Yeah.
There's golf outings and stuff where it's like more of the social fun.
Sure, exactly.
And golf is almost like the secondary part. But when I'm trying to be competitive, let's face it, like, we're getting older. There's not so many competitive things we can do anymore besides coach my kids sports, which that's another story in and of itself. But coming from playing basketball or softball or whatever, like, we used to do so many competitive sports, and it's like, oh, my arm can't do it anymore for softball. I can't run up and down the court because my knees hurt for basketball. Like, golf is something you're going to do forever. And it's like, now it's my only real avenue of like competitiveness outside of like business and stuff. And that's why I'm so serious about it during the league nights.
Dude, I'm telling you, I got a registered scorecard too. Yeah. I mean, I keep track of my handicap and all of it.
Yeah.
Dude. I didn't think I was going to take it that serious. Honestly,
yeah.
I thought it was going to be more of the social thing if we're starting our businesses, and like a lot of folks play golf, so I'm going to go do that, just like I did in the corporate world with sales and stuff. But I started to get decent at the end of that first year after I got those irons, and then the next year was like, okay, I'll buy a driver.
You catch the bug.
I bought a driver, and then when I got my driver dialed in last year, was when I'm going, hold up. This year was when I was looking at joining clubs. Yeah. Because it's like, I'm in.
Right.
Like,
there's videos and stuff of this. It's like, I graduated college in 2000, when I was 21 or 22. And like, my first thought was like, I guess I have to start learning how to play golf now. Like, cause that's like just what you assume, like, oh, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
In college, it's like, oh, you do a couple outings and you're, there to hang out and have fun and joke around and drive the golf cart, cause that's cool. But it's like, to what you just said, like you play a couple rounds and then you have a couple shots and you're like, it's something clicks and you're like, man, like, that's fun. I want to do this again. And then all of a sudden, you're like buying new irons, buying new you're getting lessons, starting a golf simulator company. Like it's a crazy game. I don't know if you've seen the clips, like LeBron James. He's all in on golf now. Like
LeBron James.
He's like, when I'm not playing basketball, I'm watching golf videos.
Yeah,
like,
dude. So what I'm getting to here was that I love golf. You guys are finding that out now. Enjoy it. I plan on playing quite a bit this year. I didn't get to play as much as I wanted last year. I played more the year before that. But when we chatted, so there's that connection, our friend connection that I saw, and you started teaching me and telling me about Greenies.
Yeah.
And I was intrigued, okay, because I'm in the business world as well and love golf clearly. Been in a golf simulator league as well. And so seeing that and the mobile aspect of it was so fascinating. And when you actually saw the product is so well made.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, well, I'm gonna give you my complete observations because I haven't told you this. Yeah. I study everybody from afar before I ever bring them on here, before I ever do business with them, before we ever become friends. I always take a peek at who I'm getting into, and so I observe everybody, see what that stuff looks like, and what you've done with Greenies was awesome.
Thank you.
So we talked about it in the earlier stages, but then watching this calendar year roll around, my man, has been really cool to watch.
Thanks.
So here's the thing. You guys are learning in this episode. He's got a marketing background. Your creative side is just amazing. Your personality is awesome too, like the way you carry yourself. So this is going to be wildly successful.
Thanks.
But there's a market for it. It's huge. But seeing the content, I'm like, yeah, this content looks good. But I always look deeper.
Yeah.
The product looks awesome. Okay. You landing a spot at the expo, amazing. Number one, anybody who does businesses, when you're trying to get into this stuff, it costs a lot of money to do. And sometimes it's a lot harder to get in if you haven't been a vendor yet as well. So you doing the work, putting that and then creating that type of product and then getting the turnout you got at the expo. Because I that's when it was going to be my first question. How was that experience for you?
Man, it was eye-opening. Like the
was
saying,
it humbling?
The saying, like, you never get a second chance at a first impression has always been in my mind. And kind of back to where I said, like, I feel like I'm like so driven on this. And I was gonna say this on the podcast today, like, I've always heard about this, but like, I know it's gonna be successful. Like, people are like, oh, like, you know, it's just like a hobby, but like, I'm so driven that I know it. Like, will it be successful tomorrow? Who knows? But like, eventually I know it's going to work. And like, I can't be more serious and more like, I believe in that. And I'm trying to, and my kids believe in it. And I think the expo was kind of my,
validation.
Validation, where so many people over the course of 3 days, you know, said, you know, they've never seen anything like this. Such a great concept. I could see my business using this. I could see this being at my, you know, my retirement party. It was just, it was honestly overwhelming with, like, you know, just joy. And like, I was so happy that it all kind of played out in real life how I thought it was going to in my head. And that's kind of, honestly, we went to dinner on that Friday night after the first day of the expo, and I was so happy. I was like, man, like for months leading up to this, I'm like, okay, I want this to be here. I want this to work the way it does. And I, you know, at the end of the day, you just cross your fingers and hope it does.
Yeah, dude. And I've been down here this road before.
And then, you know, after that first day, when it actually like worked and there was no problems and the response was like what it was, I was blown away. And it was like, I told my wife, I was like, that's like the concept is proven. Like, I know in my mind, but now I hope that you know in your mind, like, it's going to work. And
yeah, it gives her comfort, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm committed to making this, because there was an investment of like our time, our energy. I still have a business, but you know, I'm finding myself doing a little bit more greenies and a lot less of the other stuff.
I do the same work, man. I have multiple now, so yeah.
And you know, me and my wife, it's a partnership.
It's knobs.
Yeah, it's a partnership, and she's got a full-time job, and she's been super supportive in it. And I think she maybe thought initially when we had this idea that it would be kind of like a side hustle hobby, and maybe initially I thought that too. But as I really got into like building every aspect of it, like I said, we only got one chance at a first impression, and it's like it had to be that golf expo where I wanted everything buttoned up. I wanted the experience to come across. Because I have a vision long term of like where I want it to go. And you know, you got to start somewhere, and I'm just happy that the expo went the way I thought.
Good for you. That's the way God works, bud. Just to be honest with you.
Thanks.
We're not in control of the time that it takes for that validation to happen, but he ends up sending moments and events and people and vessels like that to give that clarification for us that do decide to step outside the box and do something that would be considered a risk to a lot of folks.
I will say that this is something that I've never really said out loud, but I'm like, it just seems like a lot of things are just falling into place. Like, it just kind of like the way things have worked out where, you know, we have the right people talk to the right people. It's just so kind of random, but also feels like it's on purpose, where it's like, it just worked out. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm super like passionate on this, and I'm glad that, like, because I think a lot of people that are my age, our age, like, we're hitting our 40s, and I'm always a person that always likes to think ahead. Like, what am my life going to look like when I'm 50? And it's like, I don't necessarily know if I ever found my like footing with, you know, I'm not in the corporate world. I'm like grinding, trying to, you know, do these one-off jobs and trying to build my own business, but I'm like, you know, I never really feel like I found what I'm like super passionate about. And I see, you know, people that are retiring, they're like, I worked 60 years or 50 years at whatever place. And I'm like, I don't know if that's ever going to be me. And it's like, I feel like I'm about to be 39 next month. And it's like, okay, I feel like I figured out what I want my 40s to look like. And I'm very thankful that, because in my mind, I was like, man, I don't know if I know what the heck I'm doing. You know, like, I don't want to be a failure as a dad at 40. Like, you know,
I think I've figured out what you want to do accomplish now by 40s, man. That's awesome. I love it.
So that's just,
this is a great story.
The last like couple months, I'm just like, you know, you'll get an email about so-and-so, like Ryan Geis wants to do some stuff with us. And it's like, man, I had an idea in July, and now we're doing Bachfest next weekend, and it's like, I can't explain it, but it just kind of like worked.
That's remarkable, man. No, I absolutely love it. I congratulations on that, because well earned. When it comes to strategy and preparation, it's so funny because we're very similarly wired.
Yeah.
I very much operate like that. I am a very long-term thinking person, and then I bridge gaps for a living and just track everything. I'm a numbers person. I love data.
Well, that's kind of going back, like when I was turning 30, I was at that agency, and I was basically like, okay, I have 2 kids on the way now. I already have a kid, and it's like, what is my 30s going to look like? And I feel like maybe for me, it's like when I'm starting to get to those milestone birthdays, I start thinking like, what's the next 10 years look like? And do I need to make changes? And I think it's important for anybody to kind of, you got to be stuck, in your day-to-day, but also kind of look ahead and be like, what does my 50s look like? Or what does my 40s look like? Or 30s? If you're a younger person in college and you're about to graduate, and I went back to my high school to these seniors. And I was like, look, you guys are 18. In about 5 years, you're going to be in the real world. Like, what does that look like for you? And I wish somebody would have came and told me when I was 18 to start thinking like this. I've just always kind of thought ahead. Like, I'm still stuck in the day-to-day of, here's your task, you got to get these done. But every once in a while, I think it's important to look ahead and be like, okay, what do I want when I turn 50 years old? What do I want my life to look like? And then you just kind of back into that. What do I need to do to accomplish that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice, man. Great advice. Yeah, at one point at the Expo Center, he had mentioned outside, he had a line of 100 people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing more humbling than when you know what sweat equity it takes to bring something to life. But then there's that mystery with it. Even though we've done all the preparation and the work behind it, which you clearly have, there's still this mystery, guys, and the risk to it, And for me in aging, I've thought the same way too, was more of, I want to be more present and serve our community, and doing something that I love while enjoying that. And, no, I love that you get to do that. I think that, in my opinion, I don't know what that's worth for anybody, but I think Greenies is going to be wildly successful, and it's not just because it's a golf simulator concept; it's because you're behind it.
Yeah, thank you.
Just being transparent when it comes to, these businesses and stuff like this, and investors are always looking at the person that are behind it, not necessarily the product.
Yeah,
and just your passion and your excitement behind it, and the way that you've been able to take and figure it out,
right,
and commingle kind of both, and then still launch that and still have that drive and initiative to lead your family while you're doing it and to explain the why is very admirable, man. It's just cool. It's an honor to have you as a friend. I'm not trying to give you a big head or anything, but I respect it so much. And maybe that's because I've done it now and I'm in the middle of doing more, and that I realized how much it actually takes.
Right.
And then it is unbelievable what it takes.
Yeah.
It is. But just I keep thinking about that for you. It's just 100 people in line. I mean, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. Willie Cauley-Stein was using this simulator already, dude.
That was wild. A lot of people, Ryan Geis, Bachfest. We're going to do some Liberty Center stuff in the future. But kind of what you were just saying.
This hat's comfy too, man. I love the hat.
I know.
What is this brand?
Puka Hats is what it is. But hey, if you
Greenies,
look good,
baby.
you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. That's kind of
my
thing. But back to what you were just kind of almost like a full circle moment where when my mom passed away, we're sitting there and I'm like, that was it. That's literally the first thing I thought. I was like, man, that was it. And so in my mind since then, I'm like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. If you got when you get to the end of your life or whenever that is, it's it doesn't matter how much money you made or what you do, like, but it's like, it's all of the experience that lead up to it. So it's like, when, you know, she died when she was 56, and I'm like, I literally sat there and looked at her and I was like, that was it. That's all she got. And I like that like moment has lived with me forever, where it's like, that was all you got. And so everybody's going to come to that point, and it's like, what did you do in your time you got here?
Ooh, man, you are talking my language.
I did this is great that we can like circle back to these things.
Yeah.
As a rush chair, after I graduated for like the first couple of years, they would always ask me to come back and do the invite night speeches. And it was me, and I can't remember who would always do it for Pike. And we'd always be like, all right, who's going to close tonight? Like, I'm going to close all these things. And I did this speech. My brother was in the fraternity at the time. And I was like, when you graduate NKU, you get a diploma that says you were here from 2009 to 2014. And that's great, but what does the dash mean? Like, what did that dash in between those 2 years, what did you get accomplished? What are the memories you made there? Because that is what you're paying the college education for.
Oh, I love that.
And that was always my like end line. So now if you're a young person in a fraternity, you want to use that. But that was my always like, you know, and I actually didn't even talk to the freshmen. It was to the seniors. Because I'm like, you know, I missed it so much, like getting in the real world. I'm like, when you graduate, and basically when you graduate life at the very end of it, you were here from this time to this time, and everything in between it, what did you do? And did you have a good time? And that is what is really what life is all about, in my opinion.
100%, man. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, so you're going to be doing Bachfest. What else? What can we expect coming from Greenies this summer?
So we are locking in on trying to do a bunch of golf outings. So if you are a charity or a corporation that does, you know, almost everybody's got like an outing that they do every year, client appreciation. You know, we want to be there. We want to be, we're kind of an experience to elevate an already an existing event. So so-and-so charity already has an event. They bring us on there to kind of elevate that experience.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
And that's kind of our angle and our kind of our pitch to clients or businesses is, you already have this great charity outing that you raise X amount of money for charity. Let us come in here and help you boost that. You know, boost 100%. The experience. Give something. You know, give people that are there to go home and be like, man, Fifth Third had this thing at their golf outing I've never seen before.
Yeah, I've been thinking about a million things you could do with that, like. Geez, well, just the closest to the pin type stuff, like.
Or say you
even
own
if
a business.
Like if I'm coming out off of an outing, I'm trying to think, because I love golf outings. Like I would come over and swing on a simulator for sure, especially if you had a contest on that.
Well, the thing I love that if you play in a lot of outings, you always know like, okay, when they come in and the top two teams are like 22 under, and you're like, okay, man, I don't believe that. It's like, wouldn't it be funny and cool if those top two teams that are 22 under played the last hole in front of everybody?
Dude, hilarious.
To see it, like,
that's such a cool idea.
You know, because it is always the last couple groups that come into the thing that are always the winners, and you're like, I saw that guy on the course, and two of them.
I think that is absolutely genius, Andrew.
Yeah,
Curtis, that's awesome.
So so golf outings.
FocalFlip needs to do a golf outing, guys. What do you all think about that?
Hey, we're here. We're here to help you.
That just now hit me.
Golf outings. If a corporation has,
I've been wanting to do an event with FocalFlip, and I've been trying to figure out what all ones I want to do. A golf outing would be sick.
Actually, one of our first ever like paid events was a fraternity at UC. They wanted us for a rush event.
I saw the post.
It was crazy.
It was inside the house.
Yeah. So we have the trailer, which is kind of our like premier thing, and then we also have an inflatable that is more for like inside. So we do it inside breweries or restaurants. It's just the way, because our trailer, while it's, I would say, climate controlled, it's still, if it's 30 degrees out, you're still standing outside. So it's this was kind of a way to make business in the wintertime, in the colder months. And our first ever like real job was in a fraternity house. They wanted the simulator in their room for a rush event.
You all got to see it. It's literally on their Instagram and Facebook page. Yeah. If you go to Greenie's Instagram or Facebook page, it's on there.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
What a full circle moment. I'm sitting there with these guys rushing, and I'm like, man, like I said, dude, everything is kind of like falling into place. Like in a weird way, it's all just kind of worked out. And
when you're doing the right thing and you've gone through what you've went through, and it's bound to, man.
Well, I think you
and
talk
now
a lot about...
You're being present. It sounds like you are very focused on, you're very planned and prepared, but you're very present and intentional.
Right.
And I think that's just, in return, the universe drops those things in place.
Yeah. I know you probably talk about this, but it's like when you find like your purpose, and it's not like, I didn't grow up thinking I'm going to own a golf simulator company someday. Like nobody does that, but it's like whenever you find what you feel like you know what you're doing, like it's super powerful, and it changes everything. It changes the way you think, and you don't think about it as like a chore, like work, like, oh, I got to go to work today. It's like, man, I can't wait to get on my computer today to see how my ads were yesterday, like, or whatever it is, and so we're just kind of figuring it out. Like this is our first kind of summer. We're hoping for the weather to break, because the warmer it gets, people start thinking about this. So now we're starting to book events in April and May. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. College of Mount St. Joe, we're going to do a big event for one of their almost like a fresh fusion type of thing, like with their students. So we have some things going on, but the first couple months was just getting our name out there, and taking it day by day. And every time we're at somewhere, we're trying to just deliver the experience that people say. They go home and tell their friends, man, they had this thing there that I've never seen before. It was so cool. You got to have it for your next thing. That's kind of our MO.
Well, you're doing a great job with it, buddy. That's for sure. We've, to all of the listeners and viewers, I've got some things that are coming down the pike as well, that are going to be really, really, really cool, really fun and exciting for our community. And hopefully we're going to have some Greenie stuff involved with it. But I have a feeling you're going to be seeing this name in one of our buildings here real soon. So that'd be cool.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we're looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Anything you want to end on before we wrap up here? This has been awesome, dude. I appreciate you coming out.
Absolutely.
He drove all the way from my the Covington office and followed us out here to the farm studio, and it was a good hike. And I was wondering if he was sitting there, where's Mike taking me?
Yeah, I didn't know, but it's so peaceful. I live in the suburbs in the cul-de-sac world, and the houses are close, and it's like so relaxing to come out here and just you actually hear the birds chirping and the fish jumping in the pond. Like it was cool. It's very cool. So I appreciate that, and thank you for having me.
Hey, not a problem. Not a problem. All right, y'all, I'm going to cut this episode up and drop it to you as quickly as possible, because I'm telling you, Greenies is awesome. He does an exceptional job marketing it, but I have a feeling you're going to get very, very busy. So don't forget your little buddy Mike as he sends you text messages here and there. Well, you and your wife and the kids are going to be very, very busy, and I expect this to be wildly successful in your own ways, just because your intentions behind it, your passion behind it, it's real. Yeah. And I appreciate that. And everybody else will be able to see that. And people are smart, man. They can sniff through bullshit. So like your energy is contagious, and the passion is super contagious. So whatever we can do.
That's what somebody at the Golf Expo said. They're like, you must be the owner or work here because you're really like passionate about when you're talking about it. I'm like,
dude, I'm like that at farmers markets, man. Dude, I go to health fairs. At health fairs, I'm very passionate about, FocalFlip if it's mental health. Yeah. If it's North Star Yerba Mate, I'm super passionate about nutrition and like what it's done for me and how it's completely cleaned and transformed my life. And it's because it was a byproduct of kind of what my transformation was. My best friend helped create it, so we made it together. And and that's why when I get to talking about it, Jeff and I were the founders of it, and we're so passionate about it that it's like we convert on sales and the product sells for itself, but our passion and energy is what's been more contagious now. And that's cool. I'm glad that comes across that way, because it's real. Yeah. And we're not trying to filter it.
You can't fake
it's like you can't. I'm not trying to filter it and sell you something that's not true. Like, it's different when you've built it yourself. There's a lot of heart and blood and sweat equity that's behind it. So,
well, thanks for having me, man. Again, like, if you want to tell your listeners, like, follow us on TikTok or Instagram at Greenies Mobile Golf. Reach out. I am the head of marketing. I'm the head of sales. I'm the head of finance. I'm the head of innovation. I will be the one responding to anything. So I'm looking forward to kind of meeting everybody.
All right, man. Sounds good. All right, y'all. Well, we're going to wrap this sucker up. Hit like, hit subscribe. I'll have this thing out as quickly as possible. Love y'all.
See you guys.
We are out.
Thanks, brother.
So guys, you should like and subscribe and like hit that
Okay.
I can't get it.
Okay.
I'm not used to this.
Hey guys, subscribe to my dad's video and just like the bell.
Hit that like and subscribe button, hit that bell.
And stay tuned. Love y'all.
100%. Love y'all. We're out.
I love that.